All righty, here we are. Another Sunday fun day. G Money. I will not intro this gentleman as of yet because I just like to basically share how exciting I am. My favorite day of the week. G, and you know it always. It is Motivation, Inspiration Sunday. And each and every time we get somebody special, a regular person, William Rundfelt, a regular guy, an outstanding guy
Welcome.
with, I got to tell you, an unbelievable, heartfelt story. G is under the weather right now, but she is going to be a trooper. Yeah, and the reason why is I know she's very good friends with the young man as far as background, and I did want to have her be part of it for obvious reasons. Any key questions, but before I turn over the reins, Willie, I mean, thank you so much for coming out. It must, yeah, I'm assuming you're calling from Florida, man, because you got a fucking tank top on. I mean,
nah, it's because I'm always hot and I'm comfortable at home, so I'm good.
Yeah, he's good to go. He's good to go, G Money. I know.
In his tank top.
Always. It's the tank top and it's the headphones.
Oh, I don't have the headphones on.
It's on the headphones. So, yeah. So, before we get started, if you're brand new listening to the Unbroken Talk, this is about listening to average, regular people, everyday people, you, me, everybody on the channel, and sharing an inspirational journey. You know, that journey that just wants to fucking kick your ass and wants you to quit and wants you to either crawl up in the corner, not want to do anything, get on medicine, all the above, a numbing agent or any of that shit. But this guy just pulled his fucking strap boots on and pushed forward. So, Will, I mean, thank you very much for coming on the show, brother. First and foremost.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, first and foremost. So I know you gotta, you go on and you wrote down a kind of a paragraph on a lot of shit you went through, and I gotta tell you, man, any normal person that they would have threw in a towel a long time ago. So what I like to do is talk to us from the beginning. Share when you were a little boy, man. What kind of childhood did you have growing up? Start from the beginning.
Sure.
In general.
Family life. I had the perfect family life. My parents were together forever. All they did was care about me, my brother, my sister. Very, very lucky in that way. I mean, I look a little bit differently than other kids. My mother's Filipino, and I'm short, so I was an easy target. So I was bullied a little bit, growing up, but it made me stronger. That doesn't bother me.
But so what? You just back up a little bit.
Yeah,
Tight family, good family,
yes.
mother and father.
Right.
Old school, teaching right and wrong, encouraging, you're nurturing, loving.
Other kids tended to pick on me because I was small and everybody else I looked different.
So that was it. So it was a bully thing from your height standpoint.
They always made me feel like I was good enough. I was special. That I was. There was nothing.
So nothing out of normal growing up. Nothing out of normal.
No, nothing. It was perfect. I had a perfect childhood. I grew up playing sports, and we all had activities and stuff, and we went on vacation every year. It was, they shielded us from whatever hard times they had, and we were very lucky that way. Very lucky.
And then, so that's younger. How about through high school? Take us through high school. Similar? Take us through high school.
I got along with all the groups. There's still like some of the bullying, but it wasn't as bad as when I was younger. I think everybody by then saw, I was normal. I was fine. I wasn't an asshole. So I got along with everybody. I really did.
Yeah. So think. God, Jay.
Did you grow up in the same town? So like everybody knew you throughout the years, throughout your.
I did. I grew up. I was born out west in Oregon, but I moved to New Jersey as an infant, and I've been in New Jersey pretty much ever. Actually, I've been here ever since. I grew up in Westwood, up in Bergen County. I lived there for almost 30 years, and.
So just an average young kid going through high school, getting out of high school. How did it unpack with that? Same thing, similar.
Very, yeah. I mean, everything was fine. I ended up getting married early.
How old were you?
I had just turned 21, just about turned 22.
And then, so talk. Where is this? Where some stuff start to unpack, challenges in your life? Talk to me.
I started developing health issues, which I ignored, which is what puts me in the spot I'm in now. But I was fine. We ended up moving down the Jersey Shore. I wanted to live by the ocean. I couldn't decide if I wanted to be an architect or a marine biologist. So I always loved the
Mm-hmm.
ocean. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to live down there. I had the chance. I moved down there. My health issues progressed, but I didn't feel anything. I was diagnosed with diabetes early 20s, but I didn't feel
So
any different. Yeah, so I just ignored it like an idiot, and it just
So
turned.
what was the early? So we're leading into where the bumps and bruises come on, and you're going to
Right.
share how you can continually move forward. But as far as when you say early stages, was it known by physical? What kind of symptoms? What was indicators that you ignored?
In my I'll say early 20s, I was getting these really horrible headaches where like I'd be driving and I would just couldn't concentrate because of the headaches, and I would just get lost where I was going. So I went to a doctor, and they thought it was a couple things at first, but then they told me it was diabetes. And other than those headaches, I felt no different. They told me, just take these pills, you'll be fine. I took the pills sporadically, if I remembered or if I didn't feel good, I remembered to take them, but I didn't take them consistently,
And
and
did
it
you
led to
change
shots.
your diet or anything, or you continued to eat the way you
No,
always
I
did?
pretty much I would cycle. If at first I was scared and I was really good, and I went back to the doctor. I remember saying, "Oh, it looks much better," and that to me means, "Oh, I heard eat whatever the fuck you want because he just said you're better." So I would, tend to eat poorly again, and then I go back and he's like, "What happened?" And then it was a horrible cycle just for
Mm.
years, up and down, on the medication, on the medication. The medication actually led to shots, and eventually I was in the same boat with the shots I was with the pills, where I take
Insulin cuffs?
sporadically. So now I have an insulin pump.
So let me Willie, let me freeze you a little bit just so I
Sure.
can, it's definitely worth diving into, because the whole point of you inspiring how you're continually and what you're doing now. And I always say this to G, we know the ending of the story and it's a happy one, right, G? Because
So far.
he's getting to be a better version of himself, because there's some trying times down the road we're going to hear about. It's always good because we see either somebody has overcome it totally or is able to improve. But these are early stages now. And where is that coming from? Were your parents generally like not proactive with eating good or taking seriously regarding their health and keeping in tune maintenance? Where do you think that fearful, like, and there's a lot of people, right? Fuck the diet doctor, I don't give a shit, I don't want to know type of thing.
No,
Where's it
I'm not like that. The females in my family like that. If they feel something wrong, they don't want to go to the doctor because they don't want to find out. If I feel something wrong, I want to go to the doctor because I
Okay.
want to find out because I really do. I say I want to make it better, but even when I
Right.
had the chance, I just fucked it up.
Right.
But yeah, there was time. Both my parents were diabetic. They both
Okay.
struggled with health issues.
So ran in family. Ran in
Yeah,
family.
yeah. And now that I'm older, I beg my nieces and my nephews to just learn from me. I show them, I take a dozen and a half pills every day. I got the pump. I've got this massive scar, which we can get into later.
Yeah, we're gonna unpack that. So we've got, before we get our head ahead of ourselves, and I know you got
Yeah,
dogs. Fucking no big deal, dude. Let them bark. So you're handling. You got a hit or miss with diabetes. Keep going. Talk to me
yeah.
about mid-20s. What's going on? Marriage, all the above. What are we working on now?
No, my marriage was great. I mean, me and my wife, we always got along. We always laughed. But a couple years back, I lost her. But
How did you
then
lose her? What did she pass
she actually
away?
had the same heart condition. We had the same heart condition, which was really weird. And actually, my mother had it. And one day, my wife just didn't wake up.
Oh my
She
goodness gracious! No,
and
no, I am so sorry to hear.
it happens to everybody, and So I used to really really just be pissed off and bitter, but I understand everybody goes through this. I'm no different. But and actually yesterday was her birthday, but
I saw that.
yeah. So
She's
so
heavenly.
one day she just didn't wake up.
No, I don't want to.
Well,
It's
she
early,
had
it's fresh, but
no
was
no
any indication?
She actually had. This is the fucked up part. It happened at like 5 o'clock in the morning, where like she started breathing, making these sounds, breathing. My sister-in-law was there. We called the paramedics. They came over. They tried working. They were asking me questions while they were working on it. The cops were asking me questions while they were working on it. And I said to them, I said, they asked me if she has any medical. I said she has a heart issue, but she just went to the cardiologist yesterday, the day before. And my sister-in-law looked at me. She said she felt really good. She didn't go, and that just like made me sick to my stomach. And the doctors at the hospital told me that wouldn't have mattered, but I always wonder in my head. I got a lot of guilt about this. Like the way they treated her, I think maybe I could have done things differently. I mean, that's the stuff that always runs through my head because that's just the way I'm wired, you know. But
I think anybody would think that those thoughts, what if?
I tried to CPR and like when the chest compressions, but when they came in, like they immediately dragged her to the floor because you're supposed to be on a hard floor. I was doing it on the couch. Like, what if I took her to the floor? Would it have made it, stuff like that?
Of course, you're gonna feel that kind of what could have changed it type of thing. But
and
dude, that's like that. It's so that it's that. How long were you married? Like how much?
26 years. We had just had our 26th anniversary.
And
then the really fucked up part, for years before that, I saw my health conditions worsening. So I tried to get life insurance because I totally expected to go way before her. And I kept getting turned down for it, because of my health issues. And I kept telling her, I'm sorry. And like, I'm trying. And then it was just ironic that she was the one to go before me.
Devastating, man.
It was like totally out of the blue. Like I thank God that we had the perfect final conversation because her sister had spent the night, and I remember they were in the living room like laughing, watching TV, having a good time, and I remember kissing her on the head, saying goodnight. I got to go to work tomorrow. I said goodnight, I love you. She kissed me, said goodnight, I love you. That was our last conversation. Thank God it wasn't like a fight, But it was. Yeah. But it is what it is.
And from that point, talk about mental state and recovery. How did you handle that, brother?
Not great. I mean, I thought I was handling it well. I actually went to see like a grief counselor, but like I just kind of ignored my own health issues some more when I did. I don't want to say I didn't care. But I just lapsed in it again because so that was like a really low point for me. My health stuff was getting worse.
Yeah. How old what age were we at when all this started unfolding?
I was 46. So we were married, like I said, 26 years
married. Old. So within that, prior to her passing, there was a decline in your own health as well?
Yeah, because of the cycling, I go through spurts where I do a little bit better, and then again the doctor told me, "Oh, you're doing much better." And again, being an asshole, I hear, "Oh, he said I could have whatever I want to eat. I can have as much as I want." And so there's a lot of.
So basically, for your health, was the contributing factor was what you put in your mouth? I mean, the foods you ate.
Yeah. More. When she did pass away, I did promise. I made her a promise that I actually made her two, but the one I told her I would get healthy. So I started going back to the gym, and I tried, but again, it was the cycling stuff. But the one that really got me was, my surgery, because I don't want to say she ignored hers, but she didn't go to the doctor. Time for me to have my surgery. Let's go. Let's do it. I wasn't going to wait. I wasn't going to dick around. I was just going to get it done. And
so talk about that. You mentioned she had similar heart thing. Were you
yeah, we both had aortic stenosis. Mine was, I guess, made worse by my diabetes. So they told me a couple of years before I had the surgery that I had a heart issue, and eventually I would have to have it. After what happened with her, when they told me it was time for mine, I didn't hesitate. I just said, let's go. And I wasn't even nervous. I really wasn't.
So there was no getting around the surgery. It was you had to do it like regardless of.
Yeah, they actually one day I originally had it scheduled for in the middle of the year, and in that spring I went to the emergency room. I wasn't feeling well, and the doctors told me like you really cannot leave this hospital. They said if you leave this hospital now without having the surgery, it's against our medical advice. So I'm like, all right, I guess it's happening now. So they actually started prepping me. They started putting the lines on my legs where they were going to take veins from and shit from my heart. They were going to bring me in like a half hour before they were going to bring me in. They told me we couldn't do it because I had COVID. I tested positive for COVID like right before the surgery. Dude. So I'm like, all right. So they rescheduled it for like 2 months later, and they actually scheduled it for my birthday. I'm like, can we please just pick another day? So we picked the next day, the day after my birthday, and that's when I went and I did it. You know, it's done. I feel much better. The doctor's telling me my heart's stronger than it ever has been. So
That was how long ago was that, Willie?
that was 2022, 2 years ago.
Okay, all right. So, dude, I gotta ask this. So, you know, growing up in a very loving, nurturing family, which is, and G and I can contest. What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
Oh, it's tea. Tea. I'm not drinking tea.
But you know, to get back to the train of thought, and G and I'll contest. You know, it sounds like you grew up in a very solid, loving family, and that's something that you know, that's all right, G. That something that G and I could relate to. That's not the normal, right? I mean, it's very uncommon to have that loving, nurturing mother, father, all the above. What
That's
your
why I never
hurdles
lost it.
are. Yeah, what your hurdles is from a medical standpoint and a big loss. So my big question, I mean, one thing after another, and then the roller coaster, worrying about health issues and then seeing loss. Like, dude, how did you continually wake up every fucking day and keep moving forward? Like,
You have no choice, you know. I remember the first day I was supposed to go back to work after my wife passed away. I sat on the edge of my bed in the morning getting ready to go to work, and I just sat there for like 4 hours. I just couldn't do it. I called my boss. I'm like, I need one more day because it was harder than I expected. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. First of all, it's nothing I was expecting, and then I figured, after a couple, because she was on life support for almost 2 weeks, 12 days, I guess it was, and so I was prepared for it to happen, the inevitable. But when it happened, I guess I was still in shock. So I was slow to rebound, I'll say. But I know I had no choice. I have nieces and nephews watching me, waiting to see how I'm going to react. I got to show them. If shit happens, you got to go on no matter what. And they're dealing with their own stuff now. And
so to keep so just because listen, it could and I think you said this. You didn't have any kids.
no,
There were
we
no
actually
children.
we actually lost one in our first year of marriage, and I remember the conversation we had. She was devastated. I was devastated, but she was really devastated. Well, she was devastated. But like I said, we have so much more time. That's one of the things I've learned through all this. Some of the stuff we even talked about. But I've learned a lot over the past couple of years with some of the stuff. And the most important things to me, like I changed a lot after Hurricane Sandy because we lost our home. I learned that material stuff means nothing.
Another. Oh, gee, with this guy, I don't understand. It's like
It was like the first
something that somebody would basically like lights out, but this guy's like he just stubbed his toe, just threw out something else on it. I'm like fucking wait, hold on, time out for a minute.
A lot of people would have been like, "I give up. That's it."
This is
it's not a choice, though. It really isn't.
listen to my friend. See, this is the biggest reason what this is about. Now, there is so much to unpack, but I want to because your life, the events you had in your life are huge, huge impactful. Losing your home in Hurricane Sandy, I don't have to unpack it. It's that, I mean, that was national news. That is devastating. Health issues is devastating. Losing your wife, and I know it's something that, I mean, I've had lost parent stuff. It's something you don't never get used to. It just eases at times as time goes on. It's not something that you get over, but
Right.
you just keep coming at life in a positive manner. There's there's always. And G always say that.
Oh my God, yes.
What?
He said I don't, but you do in a
You
lot of
do,
No,
like, you're.
I said I didn't. I didn't always. I feel like the
Oh,
other time
okay.
Well, here, there's like, I know you probably never realize this, but each event you've had, because you had a major event and then you lived through the next major event and then the next major event and then the next major event, which all these things, I know on each unfolded, there was a defining moment of, it's like, your defining moment was like, I gotta get it fucking done. I'm gonna fucking wake up. I gotta wake up again and keep moving. But I like to nail down, because there are individuals, lots, the masses of, would fold or take
I'm bitter.
all the
exactly.
above and be bitter, angry, negative, become turn to drugs, alcoholism, abusive states, and just terrible. But here you are smiling, and oh, P.S. Hurricane Sandy, like, you just, it is, the glass is beyond, it's overflowing. You know, I'm
And may I add that
add
he is the kindest person I have
uh,
ever met in my
you,
entire life. No, he would give the shirt off his back if you needed it. I
I
know
get that
him
from
it's
my friends.
personally, and we have been friends for the I guess 2.5 years that I've known you. Has never ever turned his back on me if I ever needed anything.
so that just adds on. So Will, can your, and there has obviously been every major event, from a health to your wife passing, Hurricane Sandy, your own procedure
Which is very
before
much just
I
2 days before Mother's Day. I mean,
and your
it's, the
and
rest
your
doesn't matter.
mother and your mother. Each and every, like, you've had major defining moment, because like, when we talk to individuals that want to share something, there could be segues, but there's one big thing, whether it be, you know, overcoming a situation. And I've always asked, it's, what is the defining moment? And it'll accompany with inspiration. A defining moment is like, fuck this, I ain't going to take it anymore. And I'm going to be a better version of myself. And this is what's inspiring me. And that is what creates that fire to continue. Now, that motivation, that sense of, I'm going to get it done, I'm going to drive, I'm going to develop this belly of fire, that comes from being at a point in your life that you just want to be better, and then having the inspiration. You, my friend, had so many major events. I'm going to safe to say is that defining moment just keeps repeating itself, and the inspiration keeps repeating itself, that now at this point, especially with your mom, I could say, like, you're Iron Man. Like, you just keep fucking coming at it. Am I like off base to say that? Like,
What was that show back in the 70s, The $1 Million Man or something like that?
fucking, you just keep coming at him. Like, can you recall, like, if you think, that major thing that wants a, and gee, I know you don't feel good, so
Sorry, I can't
no,
laugh.
you're good. Yeah, so you like think of the major defining moment at that first time? I mean, your health early stages was not something
Sure.
devastating yet, but I think your Hurricane Sandy or your wife, which one like kind of came?
Actually, I can think of two things. Hurricane Sandy, this is going to sound weird. That actually ended up being a blessing to me because that's when I shifted things the way I thought. Things that important to me in my life were no longer as important. Like material stuff, I realized then that it can all be replaced, all of it. And I remember, I remember when me and my wife we were in a FEMA hotel for almost a year. We were hoping to get back to where we were. We waited, and FEMA only paid for the hotel for 5 weeks, so we were paying more for this little single room hotel room than we were for this house on the water. And there was me, my wife, my cat, my dog, all shoved in this one room. But at that point, she made me realize it was okay. She's like, we don't have our stuff, but we have each other, and that's all that matters. But now I don't even
Yeah.
have that anymore. But she made me at that point that clicked in my head. My train of thought just sort of
That
in
was your
reverse.
defining moment. That
That's
devastating
one of
made
them.
you.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
And so I mean that's definitely one because I completely reprioritize the stuff that's important to me. Right now, it's people and time. Those are the two most important things to me. Material stuff, I could replace my fucking TV. I could find someplace else to live. But people and time, especially losing the people in my life I've lost so far, that is the biggest thing to me. But the two things that keep me going, and Patty, thank you for saying the kind words you said a minute ago, because I actually got that. I learned that from my friends. When I was down, I had the best friends and family in the world. They were always there for me, always. And that's that's the kind of friend I try to be to my friends. They showed me what it's like to be a real friend. I try to be like that with everybody, especially my friends. But thank you for those kind words, Patty.
No, like you because you absolutely are deserving of it. Yeah. There's
I've learned
nothing.
all that from my friends, and
Yeah.
my parents raised me the right way.
And
But my
I've seen
friends
you with
showed me,
all your friends be like that
my friends
wholeheartedly
showed
in
me
your
what
life.
it's like to be a real friend, and they know who they are. I'm still friends with my best friends, from kindergarten. But I realized then what's really important to me, what's not. But the two things that I want to say were, I guess, my those moments you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
One was the promise to my wife is trying to get better, but then the second was having my heart surgery. I stopped and I started. So I'm always bashing myself. So many
You
people
are.
don't even get a first chance. I was given a second chance. I was given a second. A lot of people don't get a second chance. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't even get a real first chance. I'm not going to blow it. I'm not.
Are you a religious man, Willie?
I am in my own way. My faith did waver when everything was going down,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked God, just please. Like even my dog, when my dog was dying, I asked God, just please. You haven't helped me out yet. Just let my dog make it through the night. No, awesome. But I do believe. I don't go to church every week, but I believe in my own way. I
Mm-hmm.
believe in right and wrong. I believe there is a God, but I feel like I've been tested so many times it does waver. My faith does waver.
You can't. Yeah, the one thing I can say regarding our Lord and Savior is, you can't explain the unexplained. You just have to keep focused in the faith, and the faith on trusting that there's a purpose.
Right.
And I could say, unfortunately, fortunately, and although experienced some heavy loss, and I say that from the bottom of my heart, and I'll speak for both she and I, like the bottom of our hearts, you have experienced more loss in a lifetime than some people experience, or more loss in your lifetime than some people can even imagine what you went through. And although your faith wavered but still have, I want to say that what he radiated, that there's lessons to be learned, is because what he gave you is the realization of the values that you instill, what a true meaning of a friend is. Do you know how difficult that absolutely is to find that person? I always call it, is it the person you go out to happy hour, or is it the person, the 3 a.m. friend? And you know what I mean. It's that, are
I
they
do.
that
I have a
3
3 a.m.
a.m.
friend.
friend or not? Well, I got to tell you, that 3 a.m. friend, there's not a lot, but you instilled like the true value. And I'm saying this wholeheartedly because of the impact you've had on G. And the other is your attitude towards life and what's important and what you radiate. I can say, what I say to G all the time, and that's all right. Hey, Willie, I'm saying how great Willie is, and he's going to backhand his dogs. Can you fucking believe that guy? No,
I'll
you're
take both
human,
of them
dude.
if you don't
No,
mind.
I'm only
Don't throw
teasing.
that up.
I'm only teasing. But what I'm gonna say is what I always say to G on being undervalued. Like, your takeaway from all this loss is so admirable. I mean, you are a fucking rock star with your morals and what you give people around you. You underestimate the power of your mind and ability, dude. You are so much more I've had respect for you as obviously, as I've met you, having you had and helped out at the shows and all that kind of stuff. Don't want to, that's not what this conversation is. And I knew you were a really nice guy. I shared with G, but dude, your story is just you undervalue yourself, my friend. You are truly unstoppable. And your faith, my advice to you is continue to build your faith in the Lord, because there's there's a lot to take away. You radiated what you've learned to me. I mean, I can't agree with you more that life is extremely short. People in your life that really enrich your circle are very few and far between. And when you do have somebody in that circle, you want to nurture that, because listen, here today, gone tomorrow, which you experience, you benefit that. And you are truly an inspiration, my friend. That's what this fucking channel is about, man. I mean, I got to tell you, dude, I've seen, and I'm going to say it really strong. This, I've been asked, let's by other friends and such, and you want to get somebody that's a name person, more famous or what, and that's not who I want to interview, because that is okay, one of the other ones again, meaning the Michael Jordan stories and all, they're great, but they're anomalies. You want to hear, like, I'm talking to a regular guy that I can tell you, in my mind, I watched Michael Jordan's an unbelievable basketball player, and his life journey to get there is amazing. But his story don't hold a fucking candle to what you went through, my friend. Good Lord Almighty. I mean, I got to tell you, man, you went through a lot. So I know I'm saying a lot and putting you on a torch, but it's valued, man. It's valued. So your hard work radiates with myself as listening to it. And I hope it truly radiates to the audience on how strong people could be. And it all comes to a defining moment, which you had, and your inspiration, which you do. So you continue, and G, you want to jump in?
I just wanted to add to that, after his surgery, I witnessed after the surgery the small baby steps that he had to take to come back to the gym, which was just walking in the gym. And I didn't know him back then, so I was like, what is he doing? But then once I started to get to know him and talk to him, he told me about the surgery, and like he was just tired of, what was it, just walking in the neighborhood or whatever, or he
They
couldn't
actually
walk
didn't
in, he
want me
couldn't
walking outside up and
walk.
down my street because there's cracks in the sidewalk, and the sidewalk's not flat and straight. So they walk inside where somebody can see you.
So he came to the gym and he would walk
Good
around
for
the
you,
gym,
brother.
do a few laps around the gym
Good for you.
before. That was
Yeah.
like how long? A month or so? Couple months
It
before
was a
he could
couple
even
months because I
touch
had
a
some
weight.
issues afterwards. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I remember like I have a photo of a 2 pound weight in my hand,
Yeah.
and like as always like a joke. And like the first time I was doing 5 pounds, on the machine, I'm thinking it's the first plate, it's 5 fucking pounds. But I was
Yeah, yeah.
scared, I was nervous, and not only that, I found it difficult. It was like I was sweating, and it's like 5 pounds. It's like you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. You got, hey, listen. So take
So
a,
just to get up and get out of your house and come to the gym just to do that walk after that surgery is pretty.
dude, it's like
Come on.
you're Iron Man. So take us, like, what's going on right now at this point for Willie. What's on your plate physically? How are you? Where are you? Talk to us here.
I'm working hard, just trying to get healthy. That's my big thing. I got to keep that promise, and I'm using whatever I can for motivation. Whether it's a dare or it's the unbroken hero.
Right,
It's outside
right.
of my comfort zone, but I've never been afraid to fail. I've always been afraid of not trying, but I've never been afraid to fail.
That's awesome,
So
brother.
I'm gonna do what I got to do. I look back on the stuff we've talked about, and like I've learned so many valuable things along the way that I really think everybody was always telling me there's things happen for a reason. I still haven't figured all those things out, but I am learning things that are continue to shape me. And I even just learned when just when my mother passed away. I was telling a story during her eulogy, like because my mother was like the last piece I have left, and like when you think back on somebody's life, you think of the holidays, the vacations, the parties, the birthdays. But there was one story I was telling, like when her health was really declining, she couldn't walk anymore. So I would go down. And she's very stubborn, which is where I kind of get her from. She didn't want to leave her house. She refused to leave her house. She didn't leave her house to go to my sister until it was obvious she had no other choice. So I would go down on the weekends and I'd bring her out to breakfast and do stuff around the house for her. But one day it was a beautiful day and I took her for a ride because I just wanted her out of the house, you know. It was beautiful. And my mother, I remember growing up, she almost named me Elvis because she loved Elvis Presley. So we were driving around. So I'm going to play Elvis for her. And at the time, she was deteriorating so fast that me and my brothers, we thought she was getting either Alzheimer's, dementia. She was forgetting everything. I mean, she couldn't remember my name. You know, it was kind of heartbreaking. But I started playing Elvis on this beautiful day during this drive. And she starts talking, and caught me off guard. And she starts telling me about stories about when she was like a little girl. She was raised by her grandmother. She lost her parents very young. She was raised by her grandmother. She's telling me stories about her grandmother from like 70 years before, and because of music. And I'm thinking, we thought you had fucking Alzheimer's. Like, where's this coming from? But then that day was such a big day for me. I realized that it's not just about the holidays. It's not just about the birthday. Every fucking day matters. I mean, that was just a simple car ride. And that is the one thing that sticks with me so much. Thinking about my mother is that one day. It was like I don't want to say it was a nothing day, but it wasn't a special day. It wasn't a holiday. It was just a simple car ride, listening to some music, and her telling me a story. And that is like one of the first memories I think of when I start thinking about my mother again. So
that's
I've
awesome.
learned a lot. I've learned so much.
It's awesome. Well,
So even though I've had bad shit, I know I'm luckier than most people walking this earth. I realize how lucky I really
amen.
am, and I just want to head in the right direction, keep my
Dude,
promise, do what I got to do I want to be an example for my nieces and nephews, even though they're older now and they know everything.
that
I
dude,
just
that
I
is
just want to be
awesome.
I want to be a good
What is
person.
that saying, Will, that you have on that hat?
On my hat,
I think that's
so
important. Oh, you have it on.
I do. I have it on. It's my favorite thing in the world. I have it on some of my gym shirts.
Share.
Tough times don't last. Tough people do. And
Amen to that.
I remind myself that all the time.
That
You know,
you are one tough motherfucker, dude. I got, amen. I got to tell you, I just shake my head in awe to how strong individuals can be, and how it radiates motivation and inspiration. But so I mean, at this point, you're trying to eat better and all the above, be the best version of
right.
yourself. So famous not last, but certainly encouraging words to people are listening here. What advice can you give others that go through similar? I know you gave so much good insight, but what would you want to end and share with other individuals that are listening?
My name is William Rundfelt, and I am unbroken.
Dude,
Unbroken.
that is so awesome. Dude, Willie, thank you so much for coming on, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you for
Just before we sound off, any new listeners, please subscribe, comment, and share. It's
Like.
always encouraged, and like absolutely. But till next time, Willie, you keep grinding it, my friend. You keep grinding it.